think I'm live. I think I am. Hi. Hi, hi. How was everyone's weekend? I hope your weekend was awesome. Mine was pretty good. I went to an 80s themed party last night, and it was so much fun. I want to wear it again tonight. So I had a great time. Um, hey, Mr. Blackwolf. Hey, Aaron. Hey, Taboo Topics. Hey, the crazy lady. Hey, Grisella. I apologize if I did not pronounce your name correctly. I suck at all kinds of pronunciation. There's a guy on our TikTok. I can't remember his name, but he does these. He's got like a series of like 30 videos or whatever, where he he he'll list like 7 or 8 towns from upstate New York, and you try to guess like the pronunciation. I live in upstate New York, and most of them I mispronounce. So I don't know. Hi, Tax Max, Fax, Thunderclap. Hey, Heather, Christine. Hey, Ryan. So yeah, it's been an interesting weekend with some of the shit I've been watching on social media. I had to work yesterday, but I had today off. But I had dinner plans with the in-laws and stuff today, so I was busy all day. But I've been trying to catch up here and there on all the things I missed, and which was quite a lot, it seems, because it seems like every time someone turned around this weekend, Katie Joy was streaming on TikTok or Instagram, but mostly TikTok. But I found it very interesting, though, how far her hatred for the Blanchards has progressed in such a very short period of time. And when you think about it, it is a ridiculously short period of time. Okay, it was just in June, I think, when she did her whole flip in supporting Gypsy and turned into trying to ruin her at every chance she gets. So I mean, that was June, okay, almost June or right around there. This is only August, so we're talking like 2.5 months, we'll say. She has gone from, oh, I fully support her. She's the greatest fucking woman alive. Yeah, sure, she killed her mother, but we all have our faults, kind of mentality too. She is evil. She is horrid. She doesn't belong in social media. In fact, she should be locked up. She needs to go back to jail and into a psychiatric home or whatever to deal with her trauma or whatever, her shit. And she should never have kids. I mean, 2 months. 2 months. And Gypsy did not sleep with her man or anything like that. So, I mean, there's no catalyst for this to have progressed that much in that short period of time. Oh my God, I have a hair or something in my eyes driving me nuts. Okay. So I thought, well, I kind of want to go back. All right, I'm going to have to stop this just for 1 second because it really starting to bother me now. 1 second. I'm going to do that. Yeah, damn it. Oh my God, I can like feel that moving around in there too. It's so annoying. There we go. Sorry, just trying to get it out. Whatever it is, I first have to find it though. Damn it. 1 second. Okay, I am back. Okay, sorry. It felt like something was cutting right into my eye. Still feels like something's in there, but I think that's just irritated from me sticking my finger in there, pretty much. All right, better. Yeah, that's where that little fork went. What's going on here? Oh, I'm sorry to hear about your great uncle, Ryan. Why is there not going to be a funeral? I mean, does he mean that there's not going to be anything, any kind of event or whatever? Because I get it. It does seem like people are pretty much no longer going the route of the wake and the funeral, like they did before COVID. I think COVID was the catalyst that changed everything, but I don't think it's why people are continuing with the change. Um, it seems like celebration of life parties or whatever are becoming the norm. Which, I mean, really, the wake, the funeral, celebration of life, however it is, whatever means you go about remembering the person, it's all about for the living. So, whatever your family feels is best. Yeah, yeah, I'm sorry. I mean, yeah. You can always plan your own kind of celebration of life ceremony because I mean, like I said, it's about for the living. So it's a get together for those who are still alive, to remember the person and to help them through their grieving process and help them manage their grief. So if everyone needs that outlet, everyone needs that moment in time in which they pay their respects, they pay their homage, their appreciation, whatever. So you can always plan that for you and your family. Um, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm not very good with that stuff. I'm not. I'm sorry if I didn't do very good there either. Um. Okay. So anyway, I was thinking about how much she changed in her support and everything for Gypsy in such a short period of time. So I wanted to go back. I wanted to remember exactly how much and how supportive she was there for Gypsy, and how again, and how she just wanted to berate everyone else into also coming to the same realization that Gypsy deserves and is worthy of support. Which I am of the belief where you don't have to support her, you don't have to love her, you don't have to hate her. It's really, what's it matter to you? That's how I feel about it. Um, so I feel like she's mad because Ken, Rod, nor Ryan have the hots for KJ. Now she's butter. Gross. All right, so let's share some screenshots and shit here. I just went through and I grabbed a whole bunch of stuff. Um, oh yeah. Now, like I said, I went through and grabbed a whole bunch of stuff. Oh, and for those of you just coming in, I went to a birthday party last night. There was 80s themed, and I just had so much fun wearing this stuff that I wanted to do it again. I'm pathetic. I know. I don't care. I don't care. I'm happy. All right, here we go. So let's get reading, shall we? Oh, Jesus. Okay. Here's a screenshot of a post that Without a Crystal had made some time ago. I think. Yes. Now, she is of the belief now and of the narration that Dee Dee Blanchard did not suffer from Munchausen by proxy. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't know if she did or not. I don't know what Dee Dee's issues were, if she had any issues. I have no idea. Nor am I going to make claims to know anything about that, but I do think it's reasonable to suspect that she had some sort of fucked up shit wrong with it. I'm not judging. I mean, I'm probably fucked up too, but not in the same way, at least. So here, without a crystal ball, writes, I have been accused of Munchausen's by proxy by other moms and stalkers online because of cases like Gypsy Blanchard. I have never once medically abused my son. I would give up my life and die for my son to be cured of his illnesses. I cannot fake anything that he was born with. But because of women like Dee Dee, I am judged and abused through CPS. One time, Dee Dee was reported to CPS for Munchausen's. 7 times I have been reported since her story became national news. All unfounded, and even our nurses and doctors got involved to prove it was a lie. I need to speak up for mothers like me. Please listen to me. Our nurses and doctors got involved to prove it was, oh, please listen to me. Okay, that was the end of it, my bad. Stop it. Okay, so here we have a comment. There we go. Cristobal says, my heart breaks for your mom. I don't know what she's referring to, though. And you. We have never once been accused by doctors because our son has a missing pituitary gland, a neurological disorder that presented itself in his first 3 months of life. But it hasn't stopped strangers and others from filing false reports against us. Why does it keep going back to that one? It's annoying. Here we have. So I'm hearing about this other creator I need to reach out to, and I'm just going to be honest. I won't be reaching out to Adrian. I've known of her and knew her 10 years ago when my son was a baby, newly diagnosed, and we were struggling. She was the opposite of supportive to us. Frankly, she bullied me and flat out accused me of child abuse. So if she's having a hard time getting her account back, I'm really sorry for her. But she's the last person I'm going to speak to. She follows this up with, the debutante accused me of Munchausen's by proxy because my son has a rare disease, which went undiagnosed for years. What? Years? I thought her son was in. Never mind. I don't care. It doesn't matter. I never abused my son, but she had a larger platform than I did at the time, and she used her mouth to slander me. She used her mouth to do it. She was actually not talking out of her ass. She used her mouth. Having a child with a rare disease is hard, especially in the early years when you are struggling to figure everything out. Instead of moms in the community trying to help, I was bullied and accused of child abuse. Guess what, Adrian? I didn't fake his illness. He's had multiple brain surgeries, open heart surgery, and a full diagnosis to prove it. So I'm sorry you lost your page, but I'm not going to ask you for help. Here we have. Apparently, I'm not allowed to even talk to the Blanchard family, nor can I share their statements to me. Nor can I report on the Blanchards because they have an NDA with this network, which is very, very likely untrue. Also, this same person has posted statements about me, my business, and my son. She has also gone on public rants about me. Today, she went live to go on a rant about Rod and Christy Blanchard. She can rant about them. They cannot share their experiences, their experience about her. I cannot with this nonsense. Imagine sending this email with typos, run-on sentence. Girl, come on. Run-on sentences and word salad. She told another creator this week that she cannot sue and has no money to sue. You don't want to tell Katie that shit. Okay, so here's the screenshot that she shared along with that. Something, or no, wait, is there first page? Yeah. Okay, cease and desist. Good evening. This letter serves as your only request to immediately cease and desist the course of actions you have engaged in. It has come to our attention that you are engaged in a pattern of conduct that was, but is not limited to, harassment, defamatory, and/or threatening. At no point in time has there been any agreement for any services between Mrs. Katie Joy Paulson and its representatives, and with any representative of the Good Wives Network or any of its subsidiary companies or affiliates. Airing the statements by any of the Blanchard family and their associates is defamation and slander of the Good Wives Network and any of its affiliates and or subsidiaries. Airing false statements of any kind is grounds for us to seek legal action on the grounds of slander, defamation, and libel. At this time, Without a Crystal Ball shall not air any news stories pertaining to Fancy Maselli, aka April Johns, or any other person associated or affiliated with the Good Wives Network, or Good Wives Network, there's a period there. Okay. I don't have my glasses on. Ms. Maselli has never been charged with a felony, nor has she ever stalked or harassed Gypsy Rose Blanchard or anyone else, or anyone associated with her. In fact, this is what they have done to her, and she will be taking appropriate legal action. Mrs. Katie Joy Paulson has continuously harassed and defamed Miss Maselli personally. Mrs. Gypsy Rose Blanchard Anderson, Christy Blanchard, and Rod Blanchard are bound by an NDA with our company. The Good Wives Network and its representatives are in no way affiliated with any activities that Mrs. Blanchard Anderson, Mrs. Blanchard, Mr. Blanchard, and or Mrs. Paulson or any of their associates or affiliates' activities may have been planned by the listed parties. Nor is the organization or its representatives committed to comment on any case matters or share information. As such, Mrs. Blanchard Anderson, all right, it's just as long as cease and desist letter. I'm not going to go through and read it all. Imagine claiming Gypsy Rose Blanchard is under an NDA with you. Well, okay. Oh, okay. This I think starts at this one. Okay. Sorry, I have them all in there backwards, I think. Christy Blanchard is praised by Gypsy Rose Blanchard as being the mom that she never had in the new docuseries. Christy went to Gypsy's parole hearing and advocated for Gypsy. Christy always wanted a relationship with Gypsy and loved her from the day she was born. Christy and Rod began dating when Gypsy was 6 months old, and she's loved her since then. I have been friends with Christy for 4.5 years because of my son's medical condition. I haven't met her face to face, but we FaceTimed and talked on the phone for hours. When Gypsy was released from prison, Christy texted me and we were both crying. She said, "I wish I could hug you right now because you've been there for me through so much." Then, a few days later, she said, "If I have to fly to you, I will fly to Minnesota to give you a hug and make you gumbo." I don't get to travel because I can't leave my son due to his health. Our friendship formed over her understanding of my life and my understanding of her life being a stepmom to Gypsy. Christy isn't about fame or money. She didn't travel to New York and wasn't at the premiere of the series. Rod works in the oil industry as a captain of a ship. His job keeps him away for 28 days away and 28 days home. This has been their life for decades. Rod is a very smart man, and he didn't abandon Gypsy. Dee Dee was very good at her manipulation and destroyed relationships. She told Gypsy lies about Rod to break their bond. Rod has a lot of guilt for not doing enough. He has guilt for not being there due to his job. He has guilt. Christy spent the bulk of Gypsy's incarceration being an ear to Gypsy to help her work through the trauma and make sense of her life. She arranged therapy for Gypsy's release and found a production company to help Gypsy tell her story. Okay. The act devastated the family because the entire series was fictional. The reason Gypsy is doing this now is because Hollywood exploited her story and told the story wrong. Gypsy doesn't want fame. She is a very shy and reserved person. Lifetime is the vehicle that is working her social media at the moment to promote their show. She is working. I just wish everyone could see the woman Christy is at her core. Those were some wonderful things. Like, I seriously, I hope that someone in my life at some point in time can say this very same exact wonderful things about me. Like, they're so nice of Katie to say that. Oh, was this the beginning? Yeah, okay, it was. I have more. 1 second. I just have to move it on over. So everyone coming up. Wait a second. Why is there only 2 in there? One second, I'm almost done. Okay. I had airdropped them to the computer earlier, but looks like only 2 of them made its way over there. I don't know why. They're all JPEG, so I don't need to change the format. All right. There we go. All right, got him. Okay, so this one was first. First, I want to, let me go over and check on chat. What's going on here? Hey, Moon Goddess. Hey, Purple Dragon Shell. Hi. Hey, Sally Godfrey. Hey, JMC. Hey, DC. Hi, Maya Nova. I can't talk tonight. Oh, my God. Hey, Nana Hawk. Hey, DC. Oh, your uncle was 82? Okay, I'm gonna head on back over. Okay. Let's clear the air on Gypsy Rose Blanchard. I am, I am sharing this after several weeks of being accused of blindly following Gypsy Rose Blanchard and people thinking I'm putting out a narrative for her. I am sharing this with full knowledge of Gypsy's family. 1, I do not blindly follow anyone. Oh, okay, so you finally, you follow them with your eyes wide open. Okay, awesome. 2, of course I see behavior of Gypsy and get frustrated. 3, I don't agree with everything she says or does. 4, I don't think she's a victim or that Ryan is a victim in their divorce. 5. Gypsy 100% played on Ryan's insecurities by constantly running back to Ken. She for sure fueled his jealousy. Being honest with someone doesn't excuse the behavior. 6. Ryan equally was not the gentleman that he wishes and pretends to be. He's passive aggressive, controlling, sexist, and he controlled her daily life. She had no car, and he wouldn't allow her to leave the apartment, even to use the complex gym when he wasn't home. That's rough. 7. Gypsy is impulsive, reactionary, immature, and takes the path of least resistance to get out of situations. This is a product of her upbringing and the abuse she experienced. 8. Gypsy is socially stunted. She acts like a 15-year-old, but she's 32. Her decisions are rash, and Ryan was not lying about that. 9. Ryan sought her out in prison. He knew she had numerous mental health issues and expected her to be a stay-at-home wife. Wow, that's fucked up. I never read that out loud before. Hearing it out loud, it's a fucked up sentence to write. She had no experience in life, let alone knowing how to live with a man. Like Maya said, any man that went after her in prison has their own issues. 10. Ken isn't perfect either. His behavior online hasn't always been tactful. Ryan and Ken going back and forth is tacky and trashy. They look like two roosters fighting for their hen. 11. Gypsy is learning and trying to navigate life. She's 32 and no one can tell her what to do. She won't be controlled. She certainly doesn't help her reputation with some of her comments and constant engagement with channels that hate her. Boy, why hasn't she been engaged with you at all, Katie? That's gotta hurt. I know all the above and more. But still, I don't bag on her because I don't expect her to be a typical 32-year-old. I understand her abuse history and mental health issues. She also can't learn if she doesn't make mistakes and make her own choices. She is held accountable constantly by her family and parole. I will tell you one thing that I know about Gypsy Rose. She won't let anyone control her ever again. She seeks guidance, but she is an adult. At the end of the day, she has to live, make mistakes, and learn on her own. Imagine being 32 years old and learning how to live in front of millions. Gypsy was horrifically abused as a child, up until the day that her mom was murdered. She was still drinking out of a baby bottle because her mom forced her to. Her mom made her take baths with her and shaved her private areas. Her mom drugged her and got Gypsy addicted to opiates. She underwent 23 years of abuse and isolation. Today, Gypsy is adamant that she won't let that happen again. She does what she wants, and she knows she has to learn on her own. It's shocking people forget all of this and expect her to behave like a typical 32-year-old woman. What's this? Sandy said to Katie, looks like, I wish you would stick to cults. Your friendship with this family is strange. I was happy the day you made the post that you... Oh, that's right. So here Katie just cuts them off and says, okay. So I made a post one day, one time in 5 years. Gypsy, or wait, I don't know. Oh, no, it's in the background. Okay. No one manipulated me, and many of my concerns have not changed. I still do not believe Lifetime or people around her, not her family, do not have her best interest at heart. I don't understand that sentence. It's a whole lot of negatives, okay? And even like cutaway negative there in the parentheses. I do not believe Lifetime or people around her, but not her family, do not have her best. So I do not believe Lifetime does not have her best interest at heart. She's a reporter, y'all. I can't. At heart. And I told her that. Guess what? She's an adult and does what she wants to do. No one can control her. Her show is almost over and she isn't under contract for another season. Gypsy and Ken are aware of what needs to be done legally for paternity. Gypsy Rose Blanchard's pregnancy news is causing a lot of conspiracies on the internet. I've spoken directly with the family and Gypsy about her pregnancy. Here's what is important to know, for you, the public, to know. Gypsy and Ken are aware that they will have to establish paternity under the law due to her pending divorce. Ken and Ryan will take a paternity tests after the baby is born to confirm paternity. Ryan was told about the pregnancy weeks ago. He was obviously not happy with the news. However, he never contested that Ken was the father. Even though the law in Louisiana is presumptive to the legal husband, a paternity test will confirm the baby's father. The baby was conceived in late April, early May, while Ken was in town visiting. Ken was in town visiting Gypsy at the time. She was not with Ryan. Ryan can also sign a document stating that he knows that he is not the father. The divorce will still be finalized in October, regardless. Adultery is not a crime in Louisiana. The couple legally separated on March 25th, 2024. Louisiana law doesn't allow divorces until a couple lives apart for 6 months. She is not violating parole by getting pregnant. Ken and Gypsy took down the registry. Several people behind the scenes told her, including me, to not post the registry for the public. She was excited and didn't think it would blow up so negatively. She took down the registry. The items that appeared to have been purchased were not purchased. Gypsy is a grown woman and she's gonna do what she wants to do. Stop trying to make her behave as though she lived a normal life when she didn't. Gypsy literally can't win no matter what she does. Now that's probably the truest fucking statement I've heard come from out of crystal ball there about Gypsy in quite a while. So in the comments there, someone asked, is the baby going to be tested for microdeletion syndrome? Katie says, Gypsy does have the deletion, but doesn't have any of the symptoms. She is a victim of abuse. So please don't be one of those people. She has been consulted by many people to work with a genetics doctor to ensure the baby will be okay. In this post, Ken Urker and Gypsy Rose Blanchard went live last night. Ken addressed questions about the pregnancy. He stated that he is 100% the baby's father. He also said that Gypsy is not technically living with him. She continues to live with her parents and visit Ken at his apartment. Gypsy Rose Blanchard is in the middle of a divorce. At the time of her divorce filing, she was not pregnant. Many have wondered if the pregnancy will delay the divorce process. According to the family sources, the divorce will be finalized in October. When the baby is born, Ryan and Ken will be allowed to take paternity tests to confirm the biological father. Can't they do that now? They can do a paternity test while the woman's still pregnant, right? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I know that they can. But whatever. Just saying. This would be an administrative test to satisfy the court and ensure not the father. However, there is no doubt that Ken is the father. Gypsy and Ken conceived the baby in late April and early May when he was visiting her. The couple attended Jazz Fest in New Orleans. Gypsy is due in the end of January 2025, meaning she conceived while she was with Ken. Ryan and Gypsy split on March 25, 2024, according to her petition for divorce. She's been living separately from Ryan since. Regarding Gypsy's registry, Ken said she posted her registry like most people post their registries. Despite many of the items appearing to be purchased, the account has been trolled, and many of the items listed as purchased have not, or have not been, according to the family, I think is what she means to say. No one is obligated to donate or send them gifts off the registry. Okay. I am a parent of a child with a disability, and absolutely nothing bothers me more than people that prey on vulnerable people. Meet Ryan Anderson, Gypsy Blanchard's soon-to-be ex-husband. Ryan talks a big game, but he's all talk. On the show, Ryan claims to be a special education teacher. Ryan is not a licensed teacher in the state of Louisiana. In October 2022, Ryan received a temporary authorization to teach middle school social studies in, Calcasieu, parish. I'm still going to get beat up for that one in the comments. All right, so seriously. Calcasieu. I don't know where the emphasis goes. He has never been licensed to teach special education, nor does he hold any state certifications for special education. In October 2023, Ryan's temporary license expired, and he is no longer a licensed teacher in any form in Louisiana. Ryan was fired from his job as a teacher. He claims it's because he married Gypsy, but that's not why he was fired. Ryan Anderson is not skilled to work with any child with a disability. However, Ryan does know how to exploit and prey on people with mental health issues and disabilities. Ryan has flat out admitted that he knows Gypsy was easily influenced and easy to control. Prior to living with, that's what you thought, isn't it? And then when you realized you weren't going to be this major influence and mold your, look back at Gypsy as your success story, you got, oh man, she's going to do what she wants to do. No one can control her. Yep. Okay. Prior to living with Gypsy, Ryan was living with his mom. He claims he lived there to help raise his nephew. The truth is that Ryan's unstable work history and his own issues, I won't go there, made him unable to live on his own. The reason many of us that were in the know didn't like him was because he was very much about Gypsy's fame and celebrity. He reached out to her on a bet. I personally felt he wanted to marry her to become famous and ride her coattails. Ride her coattails of having been convicted for facilitating the murder of your own mother. What fucking coattails is that? Like, seriously. Like, I'm sorry. Where is Katie's mind that she deems that to be coattails? What the her poor mom. Anyway. His behavior off camera and discussions with production seemingly proved a lot of our suspicions. Ryan comes off as a humble guy, but he's not humble. He has a temper. He's controlling, and he knew Gypsy was vulnerable and easy to control. Now he's acting like she victimized him. Ryan also knew Gypsy was still in love with Ken and pushed her relentlessly to marry him. I don't do hate accounts. What? Are you kidding? Oh my God. I don't write hates. Well, no, I don't think you write them. I think you kind of conduct them. So I'll give you that. But I do know the facts. Oh my God. I feel like this is Poe now. I feel like this is just fucking with me. I'm not brainwashed. I've been friends with this family for 5 years. Ken was never out of the picture. Gypsy considered annulling the marriage while still incarcerated. Don't buy his sob story. A few of Ryan Anderson's lies. Okay. And some more comments here. This I thought was interesting. Okay. I'm going to show you why. All right. Isn't okay. Says, if I unalive my mom and became famous, I'm set for life like Gypsy, I guess. I would get pregnant. She already has all the money, and she just needs another trust fund to put her TLC and sponsor money. The baby is totally a loophole, but no one is going to talk about until the baby gets hurt something. Oh well. To which Katie replies, the show isn't filming another season at this time. As far as I know, they haven't filmed anything since the show wrapped filming. She also didn't make as much as you would think on that show. Now, let me go back up here to this though. Here, wasn't it just on I think it was on Morbid's channel, and I think on Katie's own TikTok account there. She was live streaming just over the past like 2 weeks maybe, and she kind of just dropped all the tea about these trust funds or whatever, hiding money or whatever, and all kinds of shit. She shared all this information. So this comment, though I don't know the exact date, it was written some time ago, long before 2 weeks ago, like before Katie even did her flip there. So it was definitely before June. Someone back then knew everything that Katie had been sharing for the past 2 weeks. Who could have possibly known the very same information that Katie has known these past couple weeks? Who could it have been? Who? I guess we'll just never know. I think that this is one of Katie's bullshit throwaway accounts, which she uses to kind of, in my opinion, she uses to kind of stir up shit, help progress her and push her popularity along. Well, fuck all to anyone else. My opinion, anyway. So yeah. Oh, here we go. Ryan Anderson, you don't have fans. Go away. You married Gypsy for clout. You tried to control her every move. You tried to separate her from her family and had the audacity to play the victim. She left because of you. You wanted her to stay at home all day, even if you weren't there. You got jealous of her relationship with her dad. See, I love how they kept pushing that narrative too about he was jealous of her dad. He was jealous of her dad when in actuality, it sounds like he was jealous of Ken. But they're the ones who keep wanting to replace Ken with her dad, which is kind of weird. Her stepmom knew you were bad news and saw through your big BS. No one broke up your marriage but you. All right. I'm going to grab 2 other things here real quick. Let me set them up in a moment. For those of you coming in and just seeing me, I went to a birthday party last night that was 80s themed, and it's fun wearing this shit. I didn't want to not wear it again. So I'll probably retire it after tonight, but I got another night out of it. Which one did I download first? 36. They both say 1136. Oh, I guess we'll figure it out. All right.
I have never wanted
Okay,
attention.
that's the second one. All right. And I'm going to have to turn my MIDI on real quick. Yeah, let me see if that's going to play through OBS.
If you watch the brand new series, Gypsy Rose's Prison's Confessions, I want to say something.
Okay, so here are a couple of video clips here I'm going to share. Let me switch scenes quick. All right. Let me check a chat real quick. Hey, Vera. How you doing? Hi, Jamesy. Oh, wait, I'm not even on live chat. Hi, Moon Goddess. Welcome. And so if anyone's catching me here for the first time or whatever, and hi Elizabeth, and I don't care here's the thing, I don't care where anyone's opinion is on Gypsy Blanchard. I really don't care. I don't even really care to form one myself, I'll be honest. But here's one thing that I do subscribe to, or whatever, I guess you could say. She served her time. You can disagree with it. You can think that she didn't get enough time. You can, whatever. It's your opinion. You're more than welcome to share it. Absolutely. I mean, she's living her life out here in the public for everyone to watch. You absolutely have a right to commentate on it. So yeah, have at it. But I don't support, though, like Katie Joy's efforts in trying to get her thrown back in prison because Katie is now mad, or because Katie doesn't think that she got enough time or whatever. No, that's not how this works. I mean, you have to put some trust into the system if you ever want it to work. I get it. It's hard, and it oftentimes does fuck up, sure. And this, who knows, maybe this is a fuck up. I don't know. But what I do know is that Gypsy owed it to her community to pay for her crime, and she owed it to those she damaged to make restitution, in a sense, of her crime, which means she owed it to Dee Dee's loved ones and her community, her actual local community. And it was that community that determined what her punishment would be. And she agreed to it, and she served out her punishment. So that's where, I mean, that's how it is. Double jeopardy is a thing for a reason, okay? And I'm sure that this may not be the reason, but it's a thing for a reason, and you can't really start trying to tear away at that, I don't think. And here's the thing. No matter what her crime was, she has every right to be a mom. She does. I mean, you don't want to start supporting taking that right away from anyone for any reason, because then it can be taken away from you for any reason. So you don't have to like it. You can speak out against it or give your opinion or whatever, sure. But I don't think it's right to call CPS for basically no reason, because you subscribe to this insane belief that she's going to be just like Dee Dee. And here's the thing. I don't think she's anything like Dee Dee. I don't. Mostly for the simple fact that when she came out of jail, or no, not even that, before then, right after her mom passed away, or I keep saying that. I have to stop saying that. I know. Right after her mom was killed, she didn't keep trying to push any of her ailments or any of her special needs or special circumstances or whatever. She didn't keep that narrative going. She got as far away from that as she could. And miraculously, too, right after Dee Dee was taken out, she no longer needed any of that, any special medical treatment or whatever. It's crazy, huh? That's where I subscribe to all that. I don't care, though. I mean, she killed her mom. That's pretty fucking out there. I get it. I get people are mad, and I don't blame them. I don't. I mean, it's just something she's going to have to accept and deal with. But yeah, that's where I stand in all that. I just want to get that out of here. So if you come in here and you are of a belief that she wasn't medically abused, well, you and I, we're going to disagree, but that's okay. We can agree to disagree. So anyway. Hi, Queen Donnie. I go next week to late night and Sue. Oh, it's going to be all 80s? Oh my God, it's awesome. I miss these colors. I think we should have more clothes. I need to have more of a wardrobe of these colors. I don't care. I really do. They're fun. Anyways, okay. So here we go.
Something for mothers that have medically fragile children. What Dee Dee Blanchard did to Gypsy is horrific. And as a mother of a child that has a muscle disorder, and low muscle tone. The fact that she put her daughter through a muscle biopsy is disgusting. The fact that she forced her daughter to have her salivary glands removed is abhorrent. And the fact that she took resources from children that actually needed resources in a world where we don't have support and we don't have a lot of friends and we don't get a lot of access to anything, the fact that Dee Dee made it harder for moms like me is sick.
How did she do that?
Since Gypsy's arrest and the whole story about Dee Dee has come forward, mothers like me who have children that are medically fragile have been accused of Munchausen's by proxy hand over fist a million times more than we ever were before, because everyone accuses moms now, like me, of making shit up. And most of us don't make anything up. I have a compassion for what...
That's funny. She says most of us don't make anything up because she seems to think that every mother she meets, eventually, very soon she comes around to this thinking that they are in fact making shit up, because nobody is quite as a special circumstance as her and her son. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that he's not of a special circumstance. He very well may be. I'm not taking away from that. But other people may be of one too. That's all I'm saying.
That Gypsy went through, because my son has a feeding tube and I understand the pain that she must have gone through getting that placed, because I remember the day my son's feeding tube was put into him and coming home from surgery. And
see, and Katie has said this too time and again, how she reached out to Gypsy or whatever. She felt drawn to this story and to Christy and everything because of what she's gone through with her son. Well, she's been of the belief the entire time throughout those 5 years or 4.5 years, depending on which post you want to go by, that it was all bullshit for the Blanchards. So is that what Katie was relating to? Is that it? Was it the bullshit medical needs that she was relating to? Because that's what she believed of the Blanchards, okay? And then she says that she reached out to Gypsy because she knows what Gypsy went through, because Katie went through it with her son, but her son really needed it. But she knows what Gypsy went through, and she thought, oh, what a good reason, what a good person I'm gonna be to reach out to Gypsy and tell her how I understand, because my son really needed it, but she didn't. Think about that. Like, if you're just dealing with the fact that your mom, like, orchestrated a lot of this shit or exaggerated shit or whatever, and you hear from some woman saying, oh yeah, but my son really needed it, how's that going to make you feel? Like, I mean, you're not going to feel any way about it towards the kid or to the mom, no, but you're going to feel like shit probably, like, what the fuck? It's just, it amazes me that how people like that are unable to see or to know what kind of emotions their words are going to evoke. It's crazy.
How he doubled over in pain and looked so miserable for days. And I remember thinking, did I make the right choice? And he needed heart surgery and he needed to grow. And that tube saved his life. And to know that there are mothers like Gypsy's mom that would use that as a weapon to hurt a child is deplorable. My son's feeding tube has been the biggest blessing to his growth, to his life, to sustaining all of his organs, and to making sure that he grows.
Now imagine I wonder how Gypsy felt listening to this, if she listened to it. Like, I don't know, it just seems kind of weird.
All moms that have sick children are like Dee Dee, and not all moms that have sick children want attention. I have for what my son has gone through. All I've wanted is awareness for children like him. And Dee Dee took something so precious from us, which was our community.
Crazy. Hi, Sunshine and Rain. My son has had 2 open heart surgeries. I did it as a single mom, too. I don't feel connected to either of these asshats. I'm so sorry to hear that your son had to go through the open heart surgeries, but I'm hoping everything turned out well. I'm thinking it did, so yay. Fuck, I don't care. Yeah, KJ was horrible to that parent group. She called it a surgery. Now it's not. Yep. Hi, Michelle. Welcome to the channel. Pretty much what I do here is I try to be funny, but I don't know how well I succeed at that. Otherwise, I like to call out some shit behavior in people at times, but I don't do it because I want to just point at people and say, oh, look at how bad they suck. No, because we all suck at times, you know, and it's important to just acknowledge that and realize that and, you know, move on from that. Because we'll never evolve as a species if we don't learn from how we suck. Okay, so okay, let me go over here. I was listening to something earlier, and I don't know where it is now, but person is per 5. Or
Have you? Attorneys.
okay, I'm just going over a couple
Well, I don't
things
have the
here.
best history with Natasha, right? Like, I think most people know that. And I think it's just, I'm not an aggressive person.
Oh, I want to hear this. I haven't heard this. Here, let me switch scenes again. So these are, I'm over on Twitter on Llama Girl's Twitter, which again, if you enjoy watching any of the content creators discussing the antics of Katie Joy, consider supporting Llama Girl on Twitter or, you know, offline, whatever. Because it's large by and large because of her and because of her efforts in capturing all of these live streams, especially now on TikTok since they don't get saved afterwards, that anyone's really able to stream or make any content. So like we owe a lot of this to her. So thank you. Anyway, I changed scenes. Okay. All right.
I don't know. When
Why
people
is it
come
not
in,
very loud?
like that, it just, I was trying to get it cooled down. Maybe I should have removed her earlier.
But you don't ever want to come off rude either. That's how you are. So
They're gonna be talking about Natasha. Natasha. It says part 7, Staffy Joy. KJ says, I'm not an aggressive person. KJ says, I thought it was the tone and delivery of Natasha, and I just couldn't get my voice heard to get them to stop. I should have just dropped Natasha. KJ says there are not 2 different Dans.
I get it.
I mean, yeah. You just
try to keep it easy.
I don't want her to delete her podcast. I don't think she should do anything of the sort. Like, frankly, she can do what she does, and I don't think. be able to do what she does without, I think, making a decision to do something like interviewing Nick is going to get a lot of people heated, regardless of who you are, right?
Yeah.
Next. And it's a delicate topic, and it's a delicate situation with him, and he's a complicated person. He has
Sounds like someone's kind of pissed off that she's not doing the interview.
autism. He has a lower IQ. He has mental health issues. And while he has not gotten a fair trial, in my opinion, there are obviously concerning behaviors that he has that warrant some level of need for the safety of the public. So you have to balance those things. She shouldn't delete her podcast. MPG is in the chat, her chat saying Nick never called. She shouldn't be.
Oh, that's right.
I don't know. I hope she's not.
She ended her live immediately.
Nick was supposed to call into another channel from prison, mind you, and do this interview on a live stream. I guess he didn't call though, and the person whose channel it was or whatever came on this one and said that that she doesn't know what his schedule is in prison, because I guess like when you're in prison you have to work, and you have I don't know, expectations or whatever. So she's not sure what his schedule is. That's all I caught from that, really.
Someone called the prison and told.
People are saying that we're telling people to come to jail. I don't know. I mean, again, people will say the most random stuff, but if that did happen, that is insane. But I don't know. That's allegedly.
I didn't call the jail. I didn't do anything like that. So please don't put that on me whatsoever.
And Skip knows that we would never do that. Like she
never. Well, I can't control what anyone does, and I almost always tell people not to go real life in terms of like that kind of stuff. I mean, I think if you want to help with his clemency and write letters and do that kind of stuff, yes. But no, I don't.
I was just listening to something today where she was encouraging people to contact the brands that were doing sponsors or whatever for Gypsy and shit, saying, listen, we're not going to buy a product that's associated with shit like this or whatever. But no, she doesn't go real life. She never encourages anyone to do that shit. Come on.
I think I didn't know if it was legal to do those kinds of interviews. That was my only question, because I don't know. I wasn't sure. I didn't know if prisoners could actually be on lives. I don't know if that's. I thought there was like laws against that, and I thought that in the past, Gypsy.
Why would she think that there are laws against that? Like, no place in our country, or probably much of civilization, has a community adequately kept up with the ever-changing technology, in terms of the legality of matters. Why would she think that this would be any different? And what kind of laws would there be exactly? I mean, so long as they're not profiting or whatever, what's the fucking problem? They can talk to people on the phone. The other person on the other end can do whatever they want with their receiving of that call, whether it be broadcasted or whatever.
She actually got in trouble for that with groups.
She did. Gypsy actually had a TikTok at one point forever ago while she was in prison and had to take it down and got in trouble. I remember that.
It was monetized.
She was also, there was a friend, and I don't know if it was Rachel. I don't think it was. I don't know. There was a friend that she had on the outside that was like working a TikTok for her. And
yeah, right. Rachel.
Yeah, she got in trouble for that too. So I thought about that also, but I don't know. This sucks. Like I don't want her to delete her podcast at all. She's so good at what she does.
I wonder if the prison knew she was doing that or not. I don't know. Like, I would have thought you would have had to get permission for that. But I don't, like I said, I'm not dogging her at all. I'm just, because prisoners do interviews all the time.
Mm-hmm. They do.
They do interviews all the time, so I don't know the difference.
The difference is that an interview is usually with an actual media company where they want to put it on camera too, and someone who's an actual reporter will show up and interview them. a YouTuber or TikToker is in the same thing. So is it really technically considered like an interview in that regard? I mean, sure, yeah, he's being asked questions, but I mean, how big of a reach, how far of a reach does anyone honestly expect that brief phone call to have on TikTok?
Yeah, and so it wasn't an interview, people. She was just going to talk to him. Yeah, I never thought it was going to be an interview. People were upset. Okay.
You just called it an interview.
I don't think it's that she's that sensitive to not being able to handle an angry chat, right? Because she gets an angry chat every time she goes live. She gets mega trolls on all of her videos. I think it's because it did come off as her character and her purpose and her intentions were not great. The way that accusations were being thrown, and anybody that is as passionate about something as she is, that's a low blow. I mean, I have a
How is Katie okay with this person just talking all kinds of shit about her right in front of her face? Like, how is she not flipping out over this? Oh my God.
passion when it comes to addiction. And I've had a lot of people come at me and accuse me of all these things and accuse me of having bad intentions when they've always been pure. And it really impacts you pretty bad. I don't think that makes her sensitive. I mean, she deals with the hate all the time. It is what it is. People tell her she's obsessed with Gypsy all the time. I think it just felt like her intentions were being questioned, and it felt like
I think it was the tone and the delivery of Natasha, and I couldn't get my voice heard to get them to stop. And I should have just dropped Natasha, but I didn't.
Well, you didn't do anything.
You didn't because you don't, as you said, you don't like confrontation. You will slink away from it, run away from it, whatever, avoid it at any cost. You actually having to take control over the back and forth between people would be throwing yourself right in the center of their confrontation and creating your own. That's why you didn't do it. Like, just be honest.
Anything wrong either. In situations like that, it's hard to know what's the best action to take because you don't want to offend anyone.
Yeah, and I don't want to be, yeah. I mean, I give people the opportunity to come up here and share their feelings, and their feelings don't represent mine. My guests' feelings aren't my feelings.
Right.
And I want people to know that. Like, if someone says something about someone on here, that doesn't mean that's what I feel.
Everybody's their own person.
Yeah. Katie did the best she could. We know that.
She's gonna
So,
reach guys.
yeah, I'm gonna reach out to her.
That's not a compliment. Them saying Katie did the best she could is saying we can't expect any better from her. That's what they're saying. Like, yeah.
Natasha says we have the wrong dad. I don't know how that's possible because he testified.
Yeah,
He literally testified he's from Arkansas. It's the same Dan.
I didn't understand that.
There's not some weird different Dan. It's the same Dan. Like, why would every other
it's way too rare of a name for there to be two Dans. It never happened. Like, no one has ever in the history of humankind ever even dated two Dans in their past. It doesn't happen.
Media outlet get it wrong then?
It's crazy. Why would detectives?
It's the same Dan.
It is.
And the reason why Dee Dee didn't want her involved with him was because he was involved in rugs.
Mm-hmm.
Bree says it's not the wolf. Of course, Bree says it's not the same Dan. That benefits Gypsy.
Yeah, that aligns.
Bree says it's not the wolf. Of course, Bree says it's not the same Dan. That benefits.
It is.
And the reason why Dee Dee didn't want her involved with him was because he was involved in rugs.
Mm-hmm. In rugs?
Bree says it's not the wolf.
All right, I get
it. Of course,
it.
Bree says it's not the same Dan. That benefits Gypsy.
Yeah, that aligns with the story, literal story Gypsy's trying to tell.
Rugs. Jesus.
And he's from Arkansas, and the age was the same age that Dan is, and he testified at Nick's appeal. And he does have a criminal record. And that Dan was in prison when what happened to Dee Dee happened.
Mm-hmm. Skip is not in this for money. To the people saying that, if she was in this for money, she would not have intended to go subscriber only. You think she's going subscriber only because she gets paid for subscribers, but not as many people were subscribing as you people think. If she had had it public,
Oh,
she would have got hella gifts and made way more money than going
yeah,
subscriber only. And at the end of the day, who cares if she's trying to?
yeah. So Llama or Maya Nova says Natasha Cooper said she has the wrong Dan, and KJ refuses to believe it, even though Natasha has spoken to all of these people. Of course, KJ is the knower of all things. Yeah, that's the thing. If I'm going to believe anyone, and I don't mean by giving their opinion or their assessment of things, I mean by stating something is what someone's last name is, or just whether or not they were a figure in these events, or whether this event happened. Okay, but if there's anyone I'm going to believe regarding any of this, it's Fancy and it's Natasha. I'm sure as hell not going to believe Katie.
To make money. She has a family to support. She did her time in prison, and she's trying to take a stand for people that are in prison and people that are coming out of prison. Like, what she's doing is a good thing, and people can make money off of stuff that they're passionate about. There's nothing wrong with that. Exactly. When she makes money off of things like that, she donates it to the prisoner that she's in.
Well, yeah, I mean, Katie Joy's making all kinds of money with doing the things that she's passionate about, destroying other people.
Interviewing. So please take.
And, well, just making them pay for not loving her.
2 steps back. People are going to get heated. I'm going to stop.
No, it's fine. You know what? I got to drop anyway because my husband needs to mow the lawn, and I got a date with my son on the Nintendo Switch.
I love that. I love that. If you go live again tonight, send me a message. I mean, I can't be on until 1 a.m. because I have to work tomorrow, but I'll definitely pop in for a while.
All right. Thank you guys for being here, and I'll reach out to Skip.
Yeah, all right. I just
All right,
want to
let me
catch
know
the
if
end
you
of
need
that.
anything. Have a good night. Have fun.
All right. Bye.
All right, so I am going to wrap this up now. Did she end it on accident? What do you mean? I don't think so. What? Did I end it? Did my stream end? It still says I'm streaming. Am I still here? I don't know where I am. Yes, still says I'm live. Yeah, I'm there. Okay. Right. That's all. Okay. Yeah. Well, it's not going to be for much longer. I am going to shut it down now. I am exhausted. I worked my ass off this past week, like 50 plus hours I worked. And I had today off, but I didn't have much downtime today. I want to go to bed. I have to go to work again tomorrow. So yeah, I'm going to keep going through, and I want to find more of these posts and everything of Katie Joy showing this just devotion and love, and just the offering of all of her resources and platforms to better this family's position in the court of public opinion here. Because I think that needs to be remembered. This is what she does. And I'm not, this isn't opinion. This isn't. And I'm not even saying it's fact, but there's a pattern. You can't deny that there's a pattern. And this is her pattern. She befriends someone, she fluffs them up, love bombs them, or however you want to put it. And then the second she's been slighted, she turns on him. And she will use anything and everything shared with her before then to get back. I mean, if you're a content creator and you're dealing with her or you're working with her, I mean, by all means, it's a free country, do, whatever. But I strongly urge you to just keep it in the back of your mind that you could very well, and you very likely might be the next person she comes for. So you might want to just consider not sharing anything with her that would be detrimental should she share it, because she will, in my opinion, she will. Not at all saying don't work with her. It's your channel. You got to do it. Or it's your platform, whatever. You got to do what you feel is right, and I support whatever that is. However, I'd be remiss if I didn't say just keep it in the back of your mind so you can better prepare yourself should that happen to you. Anyway. All right, guys. Thanks for being here. Have a good night. I will be streaming tomorrow. I'm not expecting to work late. So, but it won't be this late, but it'll be probably around like 11 or so, give or take. All right. Yeah. So Maya Nova says, and when she has no use for someone anymore, she tosses them to the side for the next bigger person. Like, yeah. So like when I was going through looking for these posts and everything, I didn't even bother looking at her pages because I figured that she probably deleted quite a bit of them. She's not in a lawsuit with anyone here involved, so she can delete her shit. So I just went into other places where I knew that people had taken screenshots at that time and shared or posted them, So I had to scroll through a lot of shit to get to like certain dates or whatever, because that's, she would post about them for a few days and then move on to something else. But it's painted a much bigger picture just seeing how, like for Robert Shin, for example, she was all about Robert Shin, all about exposing the Shin, all about just killing his reputation until something else seemed to piss her off. And then she jumped ship. So it was Robert Shin. Then it was like Miranda. She was coming forward for a little bit there. Then the Duggars again. Then another content creator and whoever's like allegedly calling her local sheriffs or whatever. She gets like hyper focused on these entities, on these groups, whatever, on these individuals, and is all about it, is just overly consuming everything with that target until someone else pisses her off. Then she drops that target like without even a care and just refocuses all of her hate on the next person. And you see this when me going back and finding these screenshots, I see it come in ebbs and flows for each person. It's nuts, in my opinion. Okay. All right, guys, have a good night, and I will see you guys tomorrow.